Some of the hardest days in grief are the ones you see coming. The birthdays, the anniversaries, the holidays, the dates that once meant celebration. And now they carry something completely different. Sometimes grief has a calendar. Hi, and welcome back to Grieving Greatly. Today I want to talk about something that almost every grieving person knows intimately: the dates. Because grief doesn't just live in memories, it often lives in calendars too. Birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, Mother's Day, the date of the accident, the funeral, the last conversation. And sometimes the hardest part isn't even the day itself, it's knowing it's coming. The days that come around whether you feel ready or not. One thing nobody prepared me for was that grief keeps track of time, even when you try not to. Sometimes your body remembers before your brain does. You might suddenly feel anxious, irritable, flat, exhausted, emotional, and then you realise the date is approaching. For me, the anniversary of Harry's death still affects me the most, but surprisingly, it was rarely the actual day. It was usually about 2 weeks before that. That intense build-up, that dread, that feeling of knowing something painful was coming and not being able to stop it. When Harry died, it was close to Christmas. A time that is meant to feel joyful, celebratory, family-filled, and suddenly everything felt different. The lights looked the same, but they didn't feel the same. The traditions were still there, but something enormous was missing. And I know so many people listening understand this, because once loss enters certain dates, those dates are never untouched again. I think one of the hardest parts of anniversary dates is anticipatory grief. That you feel it coming, you know they're getting closer, and with that can come a sense of dread. That feeling of, how am I going to survive this? What if I fall apart? What if everyone else expects me to be okay? My body goes into anxiety mode, almost like I'm anticipating something dangerous, because in some ways my nervous system remembers, even if I don't look at that date. And yours might too. That isn't weakness. That isn't failure. That is grief. A little reminder here. Traumatic grief doesn't just sit neatly in memory. Our brains and our bodies store sensory experiences too. Dates, seasons, songs, smells, weather, routines. So if every August hurts, or every Christmas feels unbearable, or you fall apart before a birthday, you are not broken, your nervous system remembers. And when the day arrives, it can feel heavy from the moment you wake up. Everything reminds you, the absence feels louder, the space they should be in is even more deeply. One thing that surprised me was how differently people can experience the same loss. Some people want to acknowledge the day. Some want to stay quiet. Some want to be around others, and some want to be alone. There is no right way, only your way, and it can change every year. For years, I still bought Harry presents. We had a special cupboard on display and had all of his things. It really helped me feel connected. Then, one day, my husband told me that seeing those things every day hurt too much. They were triggers for him. And I remember feeling heartbroken packing those things away, because to me it felt like losing Harry again. But what I learnt was this: people can love the same person deeply and grieve them completely differently. Sometimes the hardest part of anniversaries isn't only missing the person, it's realising everyone misses them differently. Sometimes people think enough years have passed and the dates stop hurting. For me, they changed, but they didn't disappear. Birthdays feel different now, because birthdays were when I first met my beautiful little boy. So now we celebrate him then still. We take him with us. We do things he would have loved. Movies, popcorn, choc tops, little rituals. But Mother's Day though, that was so excruciating in the early days. But now I hold both, remembering Harry and loving my living children too. And milestone years, they make no sense. For some reason, year 5 absolutely floored me. I still can't logically explain why, but I guess none of this grief stuff is very logical. If you have a date coming up and you're already feeling it, I just want you to know this: what you're feeling is completely valid. Anticipating that pain is part of grief. And if you have a difficult date coming up, I want to give you permission, not instructions, permission. You can reduce expectations or cancel plans. Keep traditions if you want. Change traditions. Honour them loudly or quietly, or do absolutely nothing. It might be helpful to prepare meals beforehand. Tell trusted people that the date is approaching. Create an exit plan. Book less in. Plan recovery time after. Because surviving the day counts. That is enough. You do not have to approach these days perfectly or meet anyone else's expectations. You're allowed to do what feels manageable. Christmas will always feel different for me. And also our wedding anniversary was days before Harry had drawn us a picture for that. And it was too hard to celebrate that anymore, because it's so tied to the time we lost Harry. So I ended up organising a vow renewal on my husband's birthday so that we could have a different day to celebrate it. And then we lost his father on that date. And that doesn't go away. But over time, I've found small, gentle ways to hold them in those moments. Over the years, our ways of remembering Harry changed. We named a star after him. We honour him through our children. I buy gifts for others in his name now. I donate to special causes in his name and sponsor things that he loved. Because eventually I realised Harry couldn't use things anymore, but love still could. Remembering someone doesn't have to look beautiful or perfect or meaningful to anyone else. It just has to feel like yours. These dates aren't just reminders of loss, they're also reminders of love, of connection, and of the life that mattered. The pain you feel on those days reflects the depth of what you had. And that love is still there. If a hard date is coming up, a birthday, an anniversary, a holiday, a day nobody else knows matters, I want you to know this: you do not have to do it perfectly. You do not have to be strong all day. You do not have to worry about what anyone says. Don't worry about surviving tomorrow. Just worry about surviving this moment. Then the next one, and the next one. And if this week you notice a ladybug or a turtle moving slowly along, or something else beautiful that resonates with you, let it remind you that hard days still move, slowly, gently, one moment at a time. This episode is for Harry and for every life deeply loved. I'm here with you, and I'll be here with you in the next episode. You will always be enough for me, and you will never be too much. For Harry and Daryl, and for everyone carrying love through the dates that hurt most, I want one more gentle reminder that if today brought up anything difficult, please reach out for support. You can contact Grief Australia on 1800 642 066 or Lifeline Australia 131114, or reach out to me directly on 0431 212 575. Thank you.